Hello guys, good morning, good evening, good afternoon to you, whatever time of the day is right for you. My name is Austerius. Today we're going to be talking about a beginner's guide for poison damage ranger build. So beginner's guide is supposed to help you to get through the first, second and a third game in early access so far. And we're going to be talking about why this build is suited to you, what's good about it, what's bad about it, how to fix the bad points, what kind of difficulties you can avoid or you can experience during your Owen playthrough for the Poisonous Archer. Because Ranger, because it's a beginner build, we're also going to be talking about a bunch of beginner's tips, right? For example, about the checkpoints over here. If you click on a checkpoint and you discover another checkpoint on the map, you can fast travel between them, all of that stuff. Or, for example, if you click on a world map, just waiting for it to load in, so you can see the objectives on the world map, on the specific map that you want to check out. Like this map specifically have the area of the Rotten Pack to go and slaughter for you. And you can farm this boss, especially in the beginning, to get it as some item boost, especially if it's a first character. So we're starting with a little bit demonstration. Another thing to say, the disclaimers here, this is not the best, this is not the most potent and powerful build there is for the ranger, but it's gonna get you through the first three acts, no problem at all, and it's gonna make your journey a little bit more pleasant if you're gonna go blindly without like following any guides whatsoever. Okay guys, a little bit of demonstration. So the build's rotating basically around one skill, it's Poison's Concoction. This is using your flask charges to shoot some chaos damage projectiles and poison enemies on hit. That's what we're doing basically, right? But when we fight in the bosses or some bigger enemies, we have the Despair skill for reducing them chaos resistance. Poison is a chaos damage, so we want to look at anything that reduces the chaos resistance. There's a deck effigy. Deck effigy running with a Wizard Touch, tier 1 gem, and it's attacking every enemy that have poison on it, damage every time, basically. And it's stuck in a Wizard. Wizard can stack up to 50 points, and every after every 5 Wizard giving you like 5 increased chaos damage taken to the enemy. So it's like extra boost to your damage. And also we have Vine Arrow. Vine Arrow also increasing the actual poison right, damage per second equal to 100% of poison damage per second, right? Over here, so this is improving your poison a little bit, poison damage on enemy. So there's the demonstration, alright? Go there, kill. You have some elite, put a poison arrow, put a totem, and just slam a little bit more of a poison concoction. So basically, that's the whole gameplay. The cleaning speed of a normal monster is pretty fast. All right, their cleaning speed on the boss is also decent enough, but we're running a big problem with the bosses itself. It's when you're running out of your flash charges in the middle of a boss fight, close to the end of the boss fight. You can see all the boss fights we had like all the major boss fights. Act 1, Act 2, Act 3 boss fights, Merkle boss fight, maybe Viper Nepalzi boss fight down below in the links in the video description. You can also check out our full playthrough for this build. through the normal difficulty. Also down below in description, we're gonna be talking there about like different possibilities for the build. We're checking out different skills and different like starters, and you can basically see everything that was going on behind the scene. If you this 40 minutes of this video will not be enough for you, because I imagine it's going to be around 40 minutes. Anyway, guys, what we're going to be talking here right now, we're going to be talking about gems. We're going to be talking about passive skills. We're going to be talking about passives on the gems, and we're going to be talking about gear, what you want to look for specifically. This is solo self-found, so anyone can do it. Like, anyone literally can do it. Alright. And we're also going to be talking about a different state of the character during the first, second, and third act, and what specifically, what kind of skills you're going to be using those stages, and what kind of be specifically you're going to be looking for. Alright. Here we go. Skills. Skill gems. You already have a glimpse on the skill gems we're using here, and I already talked about what they're doing in the bigger picture, how our skill rotation works. But you're gonna need some levels before you get all the skill gems you're using in this character. So the first skill gem you're gonna be starting with will be Poisoned Arrow. Plain and simple. Plain and simple Poison Arrow. It's not that good. Right, if you compare the starting starting skill, for example, as the Lightning Arrow is better for cleaning a group of enemies, especially with Scatter Shots support gem. However, Poison Arrow have better flat damage to a single target, and it still can be a decent AoE cleaner. You just need to go to have like right gems on it, and the best gems to have for the AoE cleaner is a Bursting Plague. Basically, kill one enemy, he's burst into pieces and deal damage, AoE damage to other enemies all around him, and that's going to be helping you tremendously. Alright. Also, put a martial temp on it for more attack speed, and you'll see the difference. You will see the difference with the two gems over here. I'm going to help you cleaning much faster than without them, obviously. But it's have a much better AoE cleaning. So another skill that you're gonna go after you get in your Poisoned Arrow, and also like poison skill. So like let's look at here what we have for both skill all together, right? Another skill gonna be of Vine Arrows. Right, the slowing down is we're using currently on a current build as well. So right, fire an arrow into area that lands after short delay, causing a plant to spread out from impact location. The plant spurts vines that lash on nearby enemies, slowing their movement speed and dealing chaos damage over time. So it's dealing its chaos damage over time, not poison, but just chaos damage. The plant can be poisoned, causing it to deal more damage. Alright, right. So that's when the poison it with Poison Arrow. It'll be kind of hard to shoot it sometimes, but that's like gonna be increased additional chaos damage equal to 100%, 110% of poison damage per second. Well, that's a quality thing, right? Extra poison from quality can get 200% on that. But the vines itself, the additional damage per second equal 50% of poison damage per second, right? So dealing poison and extra chaos damage equal 50% of poison before you get the quality. So that's not the gem that you really want to get quality later on. Anyway, that's the second skill you want to combine with your poison shot. So playing the archer, I've been almost 40 myself over here. I find it's hard to actually aiming with the archer, aiming with your poisoned arrow, right? Like sometimes my arrows, like 75% of my arrows, maybe 70, just flew past the targets when I was using poison arrow, and it was so frustrating. It felt like I was playing an FPS game. Rather than action RPG, alright? I wonder if it's only me, or if it's like other people experience that same thing here. So write down in the comment. I'm just really curious about that. Anyway, back to the skills. The third skill you're gonna get on level 5 will be Toxic Grow, and you can see the first boss fight with the first act boss fight. We use the Toxic Growth extensively. It's pretty good for bosses. You can spawn the Toxic Growth a couple of times before the boss came to action, then burst it with your arrow, and there was a big explosion happening and doing like quite a lot of damage. So we're not having it anymore. There's too many skill rotations, and it's not necessary with the poison build. But the thing that you want to put on it, right? The thing that you want to put on this, it's oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Magnified effect sometimes can help, actually. But most important thing is... do we even have it here? Where's the gem? Okay, so corrosion. I mean, I do have a Toxic Grow. I forgot I didn't remove it. Corrosion, basically. Alright, so that's removing enemy armor. Alright, like back this big... a lot of Toxic Grow exploded and remove enemy armor completely, and that's gonna be helping you dealing the damage quite a bit, because you're gonna be using most of all the bow with physical damage at the beginning, and if you're checking out the damage, right, of your skill that dealing here, you'll see like the main hand damage will be the mostly gonna be done by physical damage, so removing the armor from enemy, you're gonna be doing extra physical damage alongside with a little bit of poison here and there. So this is a little bit tip about Toxic Grow. Moving on, next skill that we're gonna be getting as the archer. After Toxic Grow, the gas arrow, but never tested that one before, because first of all, it's too many like skill rotations already. Alright. Second of all, it's a level... It's a minimum level for this, what was level 13, actually. But at level 17, you will get 17, 18, around level 20, you will get into the first Ascendancy. That's the first thing you need to rush for, Ascendancy, for Pathfinder. Pathfinder, then you're gonna get this Mana Flask charges here again, and Poison Concoction. Right, you just go for the Poisonous Concoction over here, and that's basically when the actual build coming into fruition, the only skill you need for cleaning the mobs. You saw how in the presentation how this work. So I never tested the Poisonous Cloud, and it was like extensive poison. We never even got to the point that we need to test it. Basically what I'm saying. So that's basically skills for the poison build. But there's a couple of extra skills you want to get in between. Right, in between. So first of all, you're gonna go the beginner tip, right? Beginner tip. The skill that you see for a bow right now is not all the skill that your character can use. So technically, if you have enough stuff, you technically can use all of this play out of skills if you go to all gems. Some of them require specific weapon to use, like a quarterstaff. Some of them require specific stuff to use, like a strand here for Molten Blast. Alright. Well, yeah. But majority of skills can be applied to your, especially if it's like skills or cursed skills and stuff like that. So what you want the occultist skills. Right, you want the occultist skills. And you want despair skills on level 15 or on level... Oh my god, level 9 gem. Right, level 9 gem. You want a despair. This is extra chaos, minus 32 chaos resistance for your big boss fights. However, about Despair also requirements for Despair 72 intelligence. So we'll need to have some gear that give you intelligence, like I have over here, 17. Otherwise, you will not be having enough dexterity and intelligence to run everything. So make sure you get some. We're gonna be talking about how to get gear. I'm gonna give you some beginner tips, even if you play your character as the first character ever. There's a good way to get some good gear along the way. And the last skill that you want here to get is a Dark Effigy. Dark Effigy also gonna be coming into play from Occultist class, and it's also like a level 9 gem. So Dark Effigy by itself is just a totem that giving bombard enemies chaos damage over. If enemy has chaos damage every time they buff, it's just doing some damage to the enemy altogether. But what it makes good is a supporting gem, right? So if you go over here and you see the supportive gem we're using, it's a Wizard Touch, right? A Wizard Touch have deal 25% less damage for a skill, which you don't really care about damage from the Dark Effigy, but skill inflict Wizard on hit with the chaos damage, right? So this is doing chaos damage and inflicted Wizard on hit. So Wizard apply 5% increased chaos damage taken and can be inflicted up to 10 times. So we're getting like this stuck in 50 times Wizard. Stuck in 10 times Wizard dealing extra 50% damage alongside with this minus resistance to despair, right? Basically doubled my damage from my poison and my explosion. We're gonna be talking about this supporting gems now, right? We're talking about this main gems. Now time to talk about the supportive gems for my poison concoction. The main skill you're gonna get, and the beauty of this skill is you don't need to use this Jevels here, lesser Jevels, or you can't use the lesser Jevels on this. This skill that level up automatically, alright? Basically, you don't need to level up, it's level up automatically on your level. So right now we have level 12 plus 3 from global modifiers on this. And also it's getting on level 40, you're gonna get this extra gem over here, extra slot. So what are you using here? Comorbidity, alright, get extra poison at the same time on enemy, which is pretty good to have. And Scattershot. Scattershot gonna be dealing less damage, right, for projectile, but gonna hit with two additional projectiles. So we have 3 additional projectiles in total. And why it's good? So projectiles as themselves can hit the same weapon, same enemy, but because these projectiles are explosion kinds, I think they create an explosion that have 1.2 meter radius over here, right? And if you hit a big enemy, this explosion overlapping, and you're basically doing this 606 damage with your chaos and all that little bit of elements from my rings and gloves. You're gonna be hitting them twice with this, right? So actual damage is like 1800s over here rather than 6k from initial explosion, and that plus poison are gonna be taking. Right now we can apply 4 poison on an enemy simultaneously, doing like extra 252 damage per tick, and 4 poison giving like 1000 damage, and then we double them poison with vines plus resistances, despair, reduction, and dark effigy, and it's getting like 2k per second ticking without you doing much of anything. Alright, so that's the supporting gems on scatter shots. Dark effigy we just talked about. I just have an extra iron wood over here for the dark effigy that can be destroyed by the monster, so it can be a little bit more survivability. But it's tier 2 gem, and it's probably gonna go The last one they're gonna put in as tier 2 gems. Vine Arrow, we use in Swift Affliction. So support skill deals more non-aiming damage over time. And non-aiming, I mean not freeze, shock, electrocute, and a poison. Less duration of ailments they inflict. Okay, so like, why do we use it? Non-ailment damage over time. I thought it was aiming damage. Okay, non because, right? Non-aiming damage, and this is dealing chaos damage, right? This is giving chaos damage, which is not ailment damage. Non-ailment damage. And it's dealing damage is 150% based on your poison damage. Basically, what happen. So this is helping in with increasing this damage even further, right? We also have a couple of auras here on this build. The first aura I had is have here is Wind Dancer. It's a great aura to increase in your survivability. We're gonna be talking why. Survivability this build is quite a problem, and we're gonna be getting to this in a moment. So I want to blind on this as a tier 2 gem and nothing more. And we also have Wizard here, so extra, basically extra stack of resistance reduction for an enemy. Alright, so it's giving you this persistence. It's giving you this like 15 stacks of Wizard, or as I say, right? 15, so it's giving you like what? Well, extra 15. I would say extra 15 damage, right? Chaos damage. So Despair we're using Decaying Hex, so doing extra damage here. So when I put in a curse over here and I put in my Dark Effigy together, right? Because Despair already have this Decaying Hex, which is dealing the damage to. My Dark Effigy is starting stuck in this minus Wizard, minus resistance reduction on enemy. And a Hidden Curse for extra duration for this. This is basically two gens that you just want to run early game. So now we're talking about Act 1, right? Act 1 we were saying that the majority of the act you're gonna be running with your Poison Arrow plus Vines and plus Toxic Grow. Toxic Grow, Poison Arrow, Vines is your boss killer, but it's way slower than Concussion, obviously. And it's hard to hit with the arrow, I mentioned that. So what surprised me about this build is its survivability. It's probably the worst, the build have the worst survivability out of this five starter builds I played so far. Like literally the worst, right? You have very little health. Alright, you have a lot of evasion, yes. But evasion not evading the slam attack. If you're checking out the stats over here, so if you're checking out the evasion, and evasion can avoid enemy strikes and projectiles, but the slam attack's not a strike. Slam attacks is big area attacks. You're gonna hit by a lot of like physical damage, for example, with a slam. You don't have much of armor. Back, most of the health's gone. You can stun because you have a low health and low stun threshold, and whatever like left there is just gonna finish you off. It happened to me a couple of times, and it's super annoying. So basically, when you start in this build, you want to look for something that's gonna give you as much life as possible, right? So to increase your stun threshold and getting your life a little bit higher. And it also would be prudent to have something like a 20 or 25 at least physical resistance from armor. So like you should look for armor gear as well. It's gonna be improving your survivability greatly. Later on, you will have to find acrobatics skill, alright? Like something around Act 3, you're gonna get acrobatics, and now this is 60% evasion. I can avoid even slam attack, like I can avoid everything, so it's absolutely boosts your survivability. Gonna get here way harder to kill, but it's still not like enough, and you still would need to look for better gear, obviously here and there, to keep that evasion rating in check, and all that stuff. So yeah, first act, poison arrow and vine growths and the toxic grow. How a little bit of second act, the same shenanigans, but the first time you're gonna get access to the Ascension, you just need to run there to the second trial and do it right away, because this is opening, like I say, their poison concoctions are gonna make all the other acts playing like so much more easier. Let's go talk about gear a little bit, alright, and then we're gonna be talking about the passive points altogether. So the gear, the thing that you're looking for this build, first or most for the first act. For the first act, you're looking for your bow to have as much of a flat damage as possible. All right. You would want to check randomly every level. Okay, there's a beginner tip. Every time your character level up, right? Every time a character level up, their items in a vendor shop items like just changing. So every time you level up, go back to house, go back to your base, put that portal and check out the vendor. And the first act you want to check randomly for the best basically damage you can get from your bow, right? Physical damage, physical plus lightning damage, doesn't really matter. Anything that giving you best value, right? That's what you're looking from your bow, right? This just flat damage, and that's gonna be going into the poisonous arrow, all right? And you also want to go and get some percentage increase to your bow damage, all right? You want the attack speed, that's granted, but most of all increase damage with the bow skills over here. Like damage with the bow skills. This is also working with poison concoction, by the way. People saying it's a bug. People saying it's gonna be fixed later. Other people saying it's not a bug, but whatever. It's working with your poison concoction. It's gonna be a lot of damage to it. But in first act we don't have a poison concoction, so you want to look for a quiver and bow with basically increased damage with the bows percentage, and you want to look as the best flat damage as possible to get here. I talk about the gear that you want as in the first act as something that giving you armor at least 25%, and something that giving you a big amount, a big chunk of a health, like for example this glove 16 maximum life. The gloves also can roll with some damage, and as well as the rings can roll with some attack damage, and also go into your arrows over here, so you want to maximize on that arrow damage as well. But the moment you get to the poison concoction as your skill, your altogether skill choices, right? What you're looking for the build is gonna change. You don't care about this flat damage in the bow at all. What you care about right now is +2 level to all projectile skills, because this is giving you so much more damage to every level, giving you like so much more damage to the poison concoction. So the bow can roll it, their quiver can roll it, and the amulet can roll it, +1 to projectiles. There's another beginner tip. The beginner tip: if you go in the internet, right? I'm just literally doing it now. I just launched my browser here, and you type something like Path of Exile 2 database. Right, there's a good database site over here that can show you like some items and some bases you can roll with them. And if you go to the bows, right, bows or quivers, so let's go to the bows section. You can see as a suffix, you can roll for this plus level to all projectile skills, and if you click on it, you can see on what level, right, you can get a more projectile plus more to all projectiles. So starting from bows that 36 level 36 bows. All right, don't misunderstand the bow requirement level and actual bow level. So starting with bow level 36, you can get plus 3 to all projectile skills. That's what I'm aiming right now, but we weren't lucky to get. So basically, when you see any like bows on the market here,
What have we got?
that have some leeway to improve, like the square, rather they white items or the blue items one modifier. Buy it.
Till next.
You'll get a lot of currency here, alright? You get a lot of the orb of augmentations altogether, and orb of transmutation. So using orb of don't fear to experiment with your currency, please. This is how you get ahead in a game. Just using these 3 basic orbs here: orb transmutation, augmentation, and regal orb. There's plenty of them lying around. So get an orb of augmentation if you have a blue items, 1 modifier, buff, mana per enemy kill. We still can use, for example, orb of regal orb over here, trying to roll for this plus 1 to projectiles. No luck here, no luck. So it's not good. Alright, but you will roll a lot in a second act and a third act after you get in concoction for this, in order to get this plus 2 to level projectile skills. Just remember, every time you level up, going back to vendor, checking out merchandise, and leveling up with your currency, improving with your currency. How to get basically this extra extra regal orbs? Right, so when you start a new character, you mostly selling all the items to begin with. But then you're just gonna go and at some point, maybe it's like Act 2, Act 3, you're gonna be taking those yellow items and going to this enchant tab and getting like a regal shard out of them. That's how we get in that regal orbs currency. Alright, and you're gonna get this stack pretty fast, pretty soon. Also remember, you're gonna get a salvage bench at somewhere in the middle of the first act. So all items that have quality to them, right? Like quality over here, or they have some sockets, like sockets over here. Keep them in your stash, and then you use the salvage bench to get extra currency, like whetstone or blacksmith armor scraps over here. Quality will improve your gear significantly sometimes. So make sure you use it, especially in the later game, later acts, like late 3. Like you see, right now we have a lot of evasion here, but a quality giving like something around 100 evasion to this. And you would need this the breastplate with a lot of evasion because of their acrobatics. So we have evasion helmet. Later we're planning to get some energy shield on helmet, because there is trade that can convert energy shield into evasion. And you can get actually way more evasion with this. Again, about the gear, so we basically look into some resistances here, some damage here from gloves and rings. And about resistances, when you're going into Act 1, you want your cold resistance as much as possible. 40% is okay. If you don't have that much enough, use the Sapphire Charm, missions drop like pretty often. You go in Act 2, you want lightning resistance also around 40%. We're talking about fighting end boss for those acts, so make sure you have it, and so on and so on. And make sure you actually dodge it. So like I say, this archer have the worst start out of the 5 character because of survivability, and you need to dodge way more than on other characters. That's my experience with that. So we covered the gear, covered some beginner tips. Let's talk about the crowd gel of the build, the skill points, the passive skill points, and how to do it, how to spread them. So we don't really have much of a choice at the beginning here. You easily grab in this flat evasion here. Alright, flat evasion, but it's not as good as grabbing like flat shield on the mages, for example, witches or sorcerers. And I would recommend I would always like start with the defensive skills for that easier survivability in Act 1. But again, evasion is not as good as a shield for this. Alright, it's not as good because it's not evading slam attacks. Well, with the shield you at least can face tanking and get this maximum shield, right? Getting this extra flat shield and getting increase to maximum shield is getting your a decent amount of shield that you can tank some slam attacks earlier on and going out and about to your business. So the thing is, you starting here as projectile damage, right? So it's gonna get you projectile damage to poisonous arrows, and the poisonous concoction is also projectile, right? If you click on it, you see its area skill is projectile and the chaos. So all of this is scaling with all of these modifiers. If there's any area modifier, projectile modifier, or chaos modifier, it's going to be scaling the poisonous concoction altogether as well. So you're basically going to go for that projectiles and attack speed altogether here. And then you're just grabbing extra bonuses from Quiver, like everyone do it. It's like what 50, so 60% more bonuses, 70% more bonuses from equipped, 80% more bonuses from equipped Quiver, right? So it's worth taking. It's worth taking. And then you're gonna grab some poison, right? Increase poison magnitude, increase skill duration for poison, for your poison arrows. So basically those three. We're gonna get to this a little bit later in the game. Right, and we're gonna get to this poison magnitude also a little bit later in the game too. Maim and hit. Well, later in the game, because before you get into that, you probably want to grab like more dexterity here. For you will need also more intelligence. Right, you're approaching that level 9 skill gems. You want to spare, so you want to grab this dexterity. Over here, and you want to grab this extra evasion from your beast skin, and you want to grab the acrobatics finally to improve your actual survivability, right? And after that, you're gonna go to this way over here, and this is basically all the skill this way and this way over here. Probably starting with this way because it's easier to get, and then you get in this extra poison duration, extra poison. Building toxins for +4 poisons on your target, and that's gonna be covering your all campaign in early access game, right? There's also 2 slots for your javels, right? So basically, you will get javels here and there, right? You for archers most of the time you're just looking for green javels, right? So what do you do with the javels? You're gonna get the javels with one star. Most of the time, you're gonna get the javels with one modifier. Let me check the javels here. Like this one, this have 2 modifiers. This one have 1 modifier. But javels is some. You can use the currency in javels the same way as you can use on your items. So if you have 1 modifier, you can use the orb of augmentation for another modifier. You're gonna use a regal orb for a sword modifier, and exalted orb for the force modifier, and then you corrupt it with a wall orb. And sometimes corruption can give you some good resistances. So we can get immune to maim over here. Maim is slowing you down, and over here you can got, and as a javel you can get extra cold resistance. You do want to. Most people are looking here for actual chaos resistance, but you can complain about like what you get in most of the time on a solo self found, which should be playing over here. If you play in a trade league, you obviously have more access to better javels. So you don't really, like I say, want to look for the, especially for yellow gems, when you can make them yourself more or less cheaply enough. Another beginning trick I wanted to share with you is your skill points, right? So this build is hungry on hungry on the intelligence and dexterity. Yeah? All right. So the way how to manipulate them, right? You probably would need to get some intelligence and dexterity from a gear, but there is also when you see that you just need some extra 5 intelligence and have enough dexterity already for everything you do, you can go to your suspicious shade, the hooded one. All right, to the scene, and you can
The
press
winds change direction.
refine the passives. Refine the passives, and we're clicking on one of those, right? You can actually select it. You can click it in the middle of a tree, right? You don't need to change it, like to remove everything in order to like change over here. Just click on it, and you can change what kind of like stats you want to go into. Right, what else to say about the build that we haven't been saying yet? I think that's everything. So hopefully this beginner guide will help you to build a better poison archer that we did, even better. All right, and to smooth some rough edges like with your survivability, and to explain where to get most of the damage from on the stages. We wait, right, like, because the first act and the second act have a different sources of a damage coming, right? The flat damage in both first act and plus level 12 projectile skills in the second act, plus increased damage to the both over there. So hopefully that's gonna help you. I was right, it's 40 minutes of talking here, so thank you for listening here, thank you for staying in for up until the very end. Take care of yourself, guys, stay safe wherever you have fun, and see you in the next guide or next stream. Whenever you check on me, cheers guys, signing out.